Sorry about that, guys. But my microphone wasn't recording that. I'm sorry. Things that happen. So I decided to start it again. Okay, so everything's set. 3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Mark Mellow Show. I'm your host, Mark Mellow, and this is a project which I've been wanting to do for ages now. Ages. And I've tried it, I've experimented with it with a friend of mine, and because we just got distracted and we didn't really focus on it. Yes, at Valvella, we are back, because we had some technical difficulties before before I started this recording. I was saying, yeah, I always wanted to do a podcast, because I do have very, I wouldn't say interesting opinions, but I do love to speak my opinions. Okay, so I want to say two things before we start and get right into the topics, and that is, first of all, I want you to know what my vision for this podcast is. Basically, the Mark Mellow Show, what I have in mind is that friends and other people from Instagram come to share their opinions, same as I do. Apart from that, I also want to do art showcases. So if you play guitar, for example, like me, or you play the violin, or you do your own artwork, I want you to send them to me so then I can show them on the podcast. Third of all, I also want to do competitions later on, hopefully if I get any sponsors and with enough support. So yeah, I hope that you enjoy this, and hopefully we will improve with time. Obviously, I'm not the best at this, I just started out, but I hope you have a great time. Okay, so let's start with the first topic, which was suggested by at varazz, that is at il dash VARAZZ, and he said that I should start off with talking about aesthetics. Now, if you follow my Instagram account, you know that I like to dress up a bit, you know, I like to be flamboyant, especially in the way that I dress, but I try and go on different styles. I don't stick to one style and just go on with it for a couple of months, you know. I like to mix up what I wear every single day, and it helps to like really discover who I want to be, I guess. I don't know, I feel like it's really connected to how you feel about the world, the way you dress, and how you perceive yourself to the world, if that makes sense. Personally, I look at mostly my style is very femme and soft, but I sometimes go for a grunge aesthetic also. It's, you know, yeah. Second of all, what I want to say about aesthetics is how certain styles, especially recently, rose into popularity, and everyone looks the same, which I'm not saying is a bad thing. I mean, it's good that the alternative scene is coming back on the rise and it's being the more popular aesthetic, I guess. But at the same time, there was a certain meaning to alternative style. It wasn't just the way you dress, it's your attitude also. And I'm not saying that if you dress in a certain way, your character will reflect that, but I do say that the way you show yourself to the world is a reflection of what you think about yourself. Now that's my opinion. Second of all, like rock and indie and blues, they're coming back on the rise, not just as music genres but also as their style. And I love seeing it. I absolutely love seeing it. Everyone is going out of their comfort zones, dressing however they fucking want, which is how it should be. But I still do feel that we need to also express our characters more than we express our physicalities, because that's what our generation is really struggling from, the fact that we don't know how to really open up about shit, but at the same time we dress in these very out of the fucking world kind of outfits, okay? But at the same time we have to work on ourselves, you know? We can't just show what we wear, what we feel, without actually acting upon those feelings. So that's all I have to say about aesthetics. Second preach second topic is music. Now, as you know, music is a very big part of my life if you follow my Instagram. And basically it all started when my dad, when I was young, he started to show me bands like Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, you know, the classic heavy metal bands from the early 80s, late 70s, very late 70s, Black Sabbath also, and later on bands like Metallica and Megadeth. They had a huge impact on my life because those kinds of bands, they showed a lot of repressed anger in their music, and that's what made it so beautiful at the time, because at the time there was a lot of repressed anger, you know? There were a lot of horny fucking teenagers who were so confused about everything that they decided the only way they can cope with this is through heavy metal music, you know? Later on, as I grew up, I started getting into pop for a while, but then I realized through meeting different friends that it's not really my kind of style. It's I don't mind pop, don't get me wrong, I love every kind of music, but pop is one of those genres where you either love it or hate it, and you can't really stay in the middle. I lean towards the hated side because recently pop music, it hasn't, lyrically, it hasn't evolved. Beats are nice, the melody is nice also, but personally I don't like that they just put in music just for the sake of putting out music. Most music nowadays, which is pop, doesn't really have a hidden meaning behind it. However, I'm not saying all of these artists don't put meaning into their lyrics. For example, let me take what's his name? The Weeknd. I really love the new album he put up. Did something fall behind me? It's fine. Yeah, it's really like fucking upbeat, but at the same time there are some songs which like really chill you out, you know, which I really like about The Weeknd. So I need to start getting into his music more. Definitely. So if you have any music suggestions, just put in the comments and I'll definitely give them a listen. But as I was saying, I grew up on heavy metal mostly, and then when I got away from the pop scene, I got into heavy metal again. But then I started also playing guitar, and the guitar gave me an appreciation for music such as blues, jazz, and I don't know, like funk. I love funk. I love it. I love funk so much. I don't know how I forgot it, but it's fine. It's fine. Yeah. The fact that this kind of music, which comes from these specific genres, it's complex. It's complex music. It's not simple, except for maybe blues. But then blues has the whole other thing, which it's very catchy. You know, that's how it got famous. That back in the 50s, 40s, there were places in Mississippi where the music came from black communities, and it was widely praised, and it was on the rise, and then white artists like Elvis Presley, for example, he took influence from them, and it continued boosting blues up onto the music industry, you know. And then from blues, a lot of other genres came out of it, like as I was saying, funk, rock, and even heavy metal. Blues is the father of all genres. That's how I see it. Obviously, most of my inspiration comes from blues artists, specifically blues artists which played during the 60s time, also known as the psychedelic wave, you know? Psychedelic wave of music. You had bands such as Led Zeppelin, Beatles, Pink Floyd, Jimi Hendrix. Such amazing bands. And you know why I say they're amazing bands? Because up to this day we still have a major respect towards these bands. They help define what music is. And considering that they didn't have the technology that we have today, but they still produced music which was as good as it comes out today. Sound-wise, obviously. Apart from that, there were multiple bands which inspired me to start writing music and even being influential, you know. Like Queen, for example. Queen are the fucking fathers of flamboyance and showmanship, you know, and their songs are so well written. I mean, Brian May is a fucking genius, and I don't care what you fucking say. But yeah, that's all I can say about music, really. It's quite evident that it had an effect on my life. I mean, I play guitar, so it has to have an effect on my life, you know? Anyway, so finishing these two topics up, I want to answer some questions that you might have asked here, and reading out some comments also. So, let's see. At Fake Danny 1703 said, to make pop beats, it's more simple than rap. I guess so, according to what you think about a pop beat. Because if it's just the percussion, obviously it's kind of easier than rap, because rap, it's a bit more fast-paced. But if you're saying melody, I do say it's equal. It's hard. It's as hard to make a pop melody as it is hard to make a rap melody. That is just my personal opinion. I've never worked on FL Studio, but this is what I would think the process would be like. Punk. Oh yeah, punk. At Valvella just said punk with 2 exclamation points. Now I'm a friend of hers, so I get her, and she's like, back when I said blues, jazz, and funk, I should have also said punk, but I'm not a huge fan of punk. Don't fucking kill me. It's not my favorite style of music. I prefer, if I want something a bit more heavy, I prefer going for heavy metal rather than punk. But that's just my opinion. What would you do if, when you okay, so he said yes, would go? I'm sorry, I did not understand. Maybe DM me later and I can clarify. What about Michael Jackson? Michael Jackson, he is the king of pop. However, personally, I like to see Michael Jackson as more of a funk artist. Because I like comparing him a lot to Prince. I don't know why. I fall into that trap where I compare Michael Jackson to Prince. However, they are very similar in style and attitude. Their music is completely different to a certain extent, because they still are funky, but Prince emphasizes the funk, while Michael Jackson emphasizes the pop. This is my humble opinion. Do you like jazz? Of course I like jazz. Ed Zayzit said, Missectisty, Slipknot, how is Slipknot punk at Valvella? Explain to me. Thoughts on K-pop? At NSKEDNKSNSNDND, that is quite a name, said, my thoughts on K-pop. She or they asked me my thoughts on K-pop. I used to have a phase where I listened to K-pop. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't regret it. There is only one song which I like. It's by BTS and it's called Euphoria. That's all I'm gonna say because I don't want to offend anyone. And not to like assume shit, but from personal experience, K-pop fans are very aggressive. Not aggressive, I wouldn't say aggressive, they're just really passionate about their music genre, which is completely fine, man. I'm not saying anything about it, but at the same time, I prefer K-pop over pop, like American pop. I don't know why. I guess it's probably the dancing. The dancing is very nice, you know. I appreciate all kinds of art, and when I see showmanship and music coming in together, I just melt completely. It's just the way my brain works, I guess. Slipknot is metal. I'm not uncultured. At Valve. Okay, good. It's good to know. It's good to know that you know that Slipknot is metal and not punk. Period. K-pop stands suck ass. I wouldn't say that because I have friends who like K-pop, but there's a difference between loving a genre and being very passionate about it, but also, and the other side, which is loving K-pop, you're very passionate about it, but you intend to hurt people with that passion. That's all I'm just gonna say. I'm not saying anything else. Any more questions? Any more questions? I'll just wait a bit. About music and aesthetics, obviously. Can you put Zyvert live song, please? For now, I don't think I can play music unless it's royalty free. But if you guys make music and you want me to use it during the podcast, just send me a DM on Instagram. I'll send you my WhatsApp, and you can send me the files, and I'll definitely use it. And I'll give you a shout out, obviously. Speaking of shoutouts, I just wanna shout out the people that helped me to come up with this topic of music and the music industry, basically. Let me find them. This is the only bad part of having a podcast, is that I have shit memory, so I don't remember anything, so I have to write everything down. But it's fine. Okay, so the topic music was suggested by at Nipke, that is at QED underscore NIBKI, at Meh I'm Chillin', and at Timais17. I personally know two of these two, and they're friends of mine, and shout out to you guys. You really showed support for the podcast. So yeah. Now, let's get to our next topic at hand, and that is... you see, I wanted a really light-hearted and fun conversation for the first episode, but at the same time, I want something juicy. So, the next topic is toxic relationships, and it was suggested by at Alasai Moon. Her name is Diana. Shout out to Diana. And toxic relationships. Personally, I haven't had a situation where it was toxic. There might have been instances in friendships where there were like a bit of toxicity, but I've always managed to talk shit out, to be honest. I do believe that there is such a thing as a toxic person, but it's just an idea. It's not... We're back on. Okay, good. As I was saying, I don't believe a person is really toxic. It's just the situation, and the person who put the other person in that situation is toxic. As in not the person, as in the situation is toxic. Like if for example you're dating someone and he or she or whatever you're into, they're like, I'm sorry, you were let's say you were supposed to go out tonight with your friends and you have a boyfriend, and he's like, where are you going? And you say, oh shit, I'm going to party with my friends. Do I have to tell you this shit? It's necessary to a certain extent to tell him that, because you deserve your own right to have friends. If his reaction is, oh, okay, go have fun, that is normal. If his reaction is, I'm sorry, can you stay here because I need you? Talk to him and see what's up. And if you see any toxic traits, any red flags where he's kind of bringing you down, and not just down, he's bringing you down with him because he's in a state where, you know, or she's in a state. I'm sorry I'm using like mixed pronouns. It's just, you know what I mean. You can you can do whatever you want. I don't mind, man. Yeah, and he's not letting you out to go out with your friends just because he wants you to be there. Then I'm sorry, you should start thinking about the relationship and your boundaries with that person. Second of all, what I wanted to say is that sometimes it's not the person who's toxic, but the relationship itself between two people. Now, when I say toxic relationships, I don't mean one which is intimate. It could be intimate, but I mean with friendships, relationships, work situations, any form of communicating with someone you see on multiple times and is showing toxic traits. You need to confront it and see what the fuck is up. That's how I see it, at least. Now, I'm guilty of not actually acknowledging a problem when there is a problem, but that is my mistake, and I don't really think sometimes with my own brain, and I don't follow my own advice. But that's because I'm still a kid. I'm still 17, and I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing in my life. But it's fine, because I have a podcast. That's it, and I can speak about my opinions on certain things. What I wanted to say is that if you are in a situation where you think it's toxic and it's bringing you down, I suggest the first step, always, try and talk to someone. Anyone. This could be anyone who's close to you, family, friends, your dog. If you start with your dog, it actually helps a lot, because dogs just look at you and they're like, I'm gonna comfort you, you know? Apart from that, that's all I can say. And also, if there is, it's not just the relationship or a person, and there are toxic traits within you and you're noticing them, first of all, talk to someone and make sure that you are fine and you can handle the relationship. And second of all, if you really, really need professional help, go for it. I know it's hard, but there are multiple
Hi, welcome to Chili's.
By the way, if you hear hi, welcome to Chili's, that is my notification sound. So every time I receive a notification, hi, welcome to Chili's, plays. It has developed into quite a story where I'll be sitting in a bathroom, you know, doing my own business, and just from my bag, full blast, the whole bathroom listens to hi, welcome to Chili's. But it's funny. It has caused many laughs throughout me having this mobile. Let's get to some questions on toxic relationships. I'm going back to the music topic, because there was a question I didn't see, and it's by @Valvella, and she said, favorite grunge bands. I like, obviously Nirvana. I also like Kurt Cobain as a single artist. He has multiple amazing songs. I also like Alice in Chains. I'm not really a grunge fan, to be honest. As I said, I'm more of a blues rock kind of person, and I also love funk. I'm more into the very 70s, 60s kind of vibe when it comes to music. Just personally, though, I'm not saying it's any better than other genres. I'm just saying it's my personal preference. But I love grunge. I don't mind it at all. Who else is here? @Zayzit said, what are your thoughts on recovering from a toxic relationship? So, this is from what I can gather. I almost dropped my fucking mobile. So, this is what I can say if you're recovering from a toxic relationship. First of all, I would like to say that not all people are the same. Please don't close your mind because one person hurt you. There are many people out there who have good hearts, and their intentions are true. On the other hand, don't take what happened to you as a lesson, and when you see red flags, confront them. I'm not saying if you see a red flag and you're dating someone, for example, just up and break up with them. That's not how life works. You talk with the person, you communicate, and if he's completely disregarding your opinion, then dump him or her or it or they. That's all I have to say about recovering from a toxic relationship. Me question my own sanity during this podcast. But this is why I love you, because you're a good friend. Let's get to the last topic. And this topic, I decided, fuck it, I'm gonna end it with a very light-hearted discussion of me talking about my favorite TV shows currently. And I'm gonna talk about 3 TV shows which I have watched recently, which I really, really, really enjoyed. I have seen 2 of them, and one I'm currently watching right now. I'll talk to you about that one. You probably heard of it. It's fucking insane, man. So I'm gonna talk about The Midnight Gospel first. Now, this was a show which was created based on a podcast scenario. Basically, it's a discussion between 2-3 people, and they just share their opinions on the universe, life, anything complex. But then the creators decided to do it in an animated form, and it looks absolutely wonderful, guys. I completely recommend it. It's so aesthetically pleasing. Your eyes would be like, oh my god, what I'm watching, this is such a good show. Apart from that, they speak about the very, very deep topics, and if you're into deep conversations, I highly suggest watching this show. The second show I watched recently was The Umbrella Academy. Now, from what I can gather, a lot of people have different opinions on The Umbrella Academy. Some people really, really hate it, some people really enjoy it. Personally, I think it's a good show. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. I really like the story. Sure, it's a bit repetitive. I do admit it's a bit repetitive and it's dragging, but at the same time, the characters, the way they develop, it's fucking amazing, man. I mean, case in point, you have Klaus. this drug addicted fucking good for nothing who at the end of the show proves his worth, you know? That's all I'm gonna say because I don't want to put out any spoilers. But yeah, I did enjoy The Umbrella Academy. It's not my favorite show, but it was definitely enjoyable. Now, the last show I want to talk about is actually, it's another animated series, and it's called Disenchantment. It gives me a lot of Rick and Morty vibes in its humor, but it is based completely in a different setting, and the comedians who write it, I'm pretty sure Eric Andre is involved. I'm not sure if he's a voice actor or a creative behind it, but you know, if it's Eric Andre, it's gonna be something good. It's very funny. They have dark humor, satirical humor, any humor that you fucking like, basically, and it's batshit insane. That's why I love it. That's all I have to say about that show. So that's about it. It's quite a short podcast. I'm sorry if you wanted a bit more, but for now, because I'm working alone, because I can't really invite people over to my place, because the COVID situation here in Malta has gotten worse recently, I have to keep these podcasts short, but I will still keep on uploading them. However, hopefully as soon as the COVID situation calms down again, I can start bringing some guests over and we can talk about some topics. Another request I would like you to maybe take attention of is, if you would like to be part of this, as in come here and talk, I will welcome you with open arms. Obviously, we'll meet up beforehand so we can discuss the details of the show, what we're going to talk about, stuff like that. And yeah, we can definitely do something together if you really want to be part of this podcast. Anyway, that's about it for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I had a merry old time. Stay mellow and goodbye.